Hello, Cyberwebs. Um, this is the Internetter with the celebrity hat, and I am back with another presentation for you in the traditional amateur vision. And today's video is going to be Ghostbusters Afterlife. I've watched it and I've sat down and put down notes from it. It's a 2021 release. And what's it about? Down on her luck single mother discovers that the father, who abandoned her as a child, has died and goes to his residence with along with her children to settle his affairs. But one unsettled affair may destroy them all. And that's what I want to say about that. So I want to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible. Visually, this film is well shot, well lit, and expertly filmed. I'm not joking. I am not joking on that. There is an abundance of shots that display expert craftsmanship, and you can see clearly what is happening even at night. You're not going to get any points where you can't work out what's happening. It's all beautifully done. It's just, the colour palette is great, it's on point. Obviously you've got the ghosts in that, they're properly done. And as you may have seen from the trailers, you've got terror dogs, and they've been done properly. Back in 1984, the technology they had available wasn't quite there to do them quite properly. There's no issue there. And I do believe that they did have practical in the mix as well, which was really impressive. I was really impressed upon the effects upon one individual. As you may have guessed, there's a build up to something. Obviously, they're fighting a big bad. First two films do the same thing. So, and really was well done. How they put that together, and you had sort of like golden, like almost like lightning sparks and stuff within. Really was effective. As for the cast, it was perfectly picked, and it really was. Even the child teen actors did well. Even if they do lack experience, which hinders them in places. I'm particularly thinking of one character called Podcast. He made me feel as if he was more like from the Goonies in a way. He was certainly sincere. I don't know if he was quite there, but then experience. The adults are spot on for the roles, and Paul Rudd was great fun. I honestly cannot find fault with the casting. Yes, you've got the typical sort of like studio special department mandates upon the casting compositional mix and that, where you've got to make sure you're ticking all the boxes. And for those who understand what I'm saying, it does appear, but it doesn't hinder. It's all straight through. It really is good. The soundtrack. The soundtrack, it just takes the original score, Delmer Bernstein score, and uses it as the palette for this film. The whole score could be placed in the original, and it would feel right at home. Trust me on this one. As soon as I heard, at the very beginning, it's like, oh, thank goodness I can relax, because I heard the music. It's like they've used the original. They've been using it. Wonderful. Really am just overjoyed upon that. As for story, the story narrative is seamless. Having rewatched the first two in preparation for seeing Afterlife, I have to admit how well Afterlife does connect with the original, and I'm not joking upon that. I mean, I was just here, so like Selena was like, "Ooh, that's a key plot point," and there's all of these bits, and right at the very beginning, you're seeing an abandoned location. You've got a signpost with the name, and you're like, "I know that name," and it just really does work so nicely. Despite the fact that the teens in this film are dealing with the ghosts, it isn't done in a contrived or gimmicky way, as what has been happening in more recent, well, so like in the years in the build up to 2021. You can get it with, oh, the child becomes this magical prodigy and saves the world. Jesus, the doesn't happen here. They're working out what they're doing, how they're doing it, and for goodness sakes, not all of them are even believing in ghosts. This is where we're at. And they are mentored into it. And yes, you do have a mentor. And you will love the mentor. So, my conclusions. This film was so wonderful to see. And it really was. It has achieved the goal of respectfully, and that's a big word here, respectfully, continuing the story of the first two films. The second one was a bit more of an off-target. I will at some point review Ghostbusters 2, but they were back on track and properly so with this. It's brilliantly filmed and pieced together, and is very much a labour of love by all involved. It really was. I mean, you could tell that the teens and the kids now, they wanted to be in this film. It's not like, oh, I'm in a page, I've got, oh, it's no, they wanted to be in it, and it's just kudos to them. This is very much a film that I can recommend to people. And while a horror, and the original Ghostbusters is also a horror, believe it or not, the comedy offsets things, meaning children can cope with it, and it's the same with the original. And I'll have to delve into that one a bit better upon how you do have the horror in the original and how it's done in such a way so that children can cope with it. And it's like with this one, really was effective. I mean, there was bits where I was jumping, even though I was expecting something. So it's not a comedy, it's much more than that. It's a film for all, it really is. It's just, I can't see it being a specific audience or a group or anything. It's trying to target basically as many people as possible. As in, if you want to watch it, you can. It's not wanting to bar anybody off. And you do want to stick to the very end, as there's an after credit scene, and Harold Ramis acting in the flesh. Yes, he does. He acts in the flesh. It's worth staying to the end for, and it really is, because his scene just really does just fit in. And obviously you've got the whole issue of Harold Ramis being dead. He's still in this one. Not going to explain how, but the spectre of Egon is very much throughout the film, in more ways than one. They had to handle it because sadly Harold Ramis died in 2014, I believe it was, and that's left a big gap, and they covered it very well. It's just brilliant, and hopefully this has helped people. Thanks for watching. If you liked, thumbs up. There will be more reviews appearing at some point. I'm trying to build up a library of things, so not just simply current films, but films from years before. It's trying to be like a library sort of film reviews as well as some other bits and pieces. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all take care. See ya.